After playing Payday 3's closed beta last month for a few days, the similarities between Payday 3 and Payday 2 were pretty obvious, but so were the differences. In this video we're going to go over 5 of the biggest differences between Payday 2 and Payday 3. One of the first differences you'll notice in Payday 3 is its refined graphics. With more than a 10-year gap between Payday 2 and Payday 3, a revamped graphics system was definitely going to be on the shelf. Payday 3's graphics are much more advanced and detailed, making the environment feel much more responsive and captivating. While Payday 2 was created on Diesel Engine 2.0, Payday 3 has completely transformed the Payday universe by switching to Unreal Engine 4. It's even been said that the game will be upgraded to Unreal Engine 5 sometime after its official release. While Payday 2 wasn't really a graphically bad game for its time, we can all rest assured that Payday 3 will definitely feel like a true next-gen game. The setting of Payday 3 has switched entirely. No longer will we be robbing banks and performing other crime in Washington, D.C. like on Payday 2. Instead, as players, we will be exploring the busy, dirty streets of New York City. In Payday 2, the world itself felt completely empty on some heists, seeing similar renditions of the same NPC walking around, but in Payday 3, from what we've seen so far, the world feels much more alive and immersive. With huge city buildings and skyscrapers as well as crowds of people that fill the streets and occupy buildings, your approach to heisting will have to be much more strategic and tactical. The loud approach in Payday 2 was always a very hectic experience that could even be overwhelming at times. Depending on the level of difficulty, entire maps could be swarmed with SWAT soldiers and police, leading players to expend hundreds of rounds of ammo and medical supplies just to make it through a single heist. Payday 2's loud approach was basically a horde shooter, but Payday 3 looks to be different. This time around, the gameplay experience is much more refined. There's less of a horde shooter influence and more of a strategic gameplay that's focused around teamwork, with certain skills allowing players to put down medical supplies for the team and others supplying ammo. Payday 3 will see players working together in a much more cohesive way than Payday 2. The ability to take hostages was a huge part of Payday 2's gameplay, zip-tying hostages to give your team certain boosts, and even trading hostages to bring locked-up teammates back into the heist. But in Payday 3, things have certainly changed. Hostages in Payday 3 will play a much more significant role. Players have the ability to negotiate with police using hostages as a bargaining chip. Trading a hostage will buy players more time before a swarm of police begin to arrive, or you can even trade hostages for resources. Lastly, as a new gameplay mechanic, hostages can now be used as human shields, holding them in front of you to guard yourself from police fire. In Payday 2, after reaching a certain level, cash began to quickly lose its value. Once you became a successful heister, the cash you earned from completing jobs just sat around. You could buy guns and mods, but with certain builds and skill trees requiring specific weapons, other weapons became obsolete, making the money in your account just sit and pile up as you completed heists. In Payday 3, the value of cash has been reworked, allowing you to do much more with it than you could on Payday 2. Not only will you buy new equipment and clothing items, but you can also buy new currency using your cash called C-Stacks. C-Stacks are not a premium currency, and are strictly earned by playing the game and converting it from your cash. These C-Stacks will then allow players to purchase unique cosmetics like clothing and unique variants of weapons. Payday 3 is gearing up to be a huge release as it's already been wishlisted on Steam by over 1.8 million players. Payday 3 releases on September 21st with certain pre-purchase packages of the game allowing players to jump in 3 days earlier.